Greetings. Today is Sunday, July the 24th, 2016. My name is Tenae Branch, and the purpose of this video is to update and to share my case study that I conducted this summer. The goal of my case study was to ultimately enhance the learning of students by helping the parents and their teachers collaborate better with one another. The initial participants that I have for the case study were two teachers and a parent. Teacher 1 being Robert, teacher 2 being Michael, and the parent being Stephen. As the case study progressed, some of the participants were actually revised or altered a little bit. So the parent, Stephen, remained one of the consistent participants throughout the case study. But then in addition to Stephen, were his two children, second grade student, who should be referred to as baby girl, and the 8th grade student who should be referred to as the young man. So because the participants kind of shifted slightly, so was the focus. Because once again, the initial focus was for me to work specifically with the parents and the teachers in order to help them to collaborate more. But now, because I'm working more so with the parent, Stephen, and his two children, the goal or the new focus is for the parent to ultimately be able to work more and better with his two children, in addition to working with the teachers. Now, first, I've already observed the parent, Stephen, listening to his children read aloud. He's also helped baby girl with her spelling and with her writing. This was before we began working on this case study, so that I could already tell that Stephen is a very involved parent in the education of both of his children. So I considered my input to not be to teach him how to work with his students, but to provide him with additional strategies of what he could utilize while at the house. So the focus of this case study once again has been adjusted in order to give Stephen, the parent, more strategies of how to better assist his children, in addition to building a stronger relationship with both of their teachers. Some of the things that were accomplished during this case study. The first thing was that I was able to teach complex terms to baby girl and to the young man so that they may expand their vocabulary. I introduced them to what I refer to as the ABCs of successful students. For the ABCs of successful students, each letter of the alphabet represents a word that describes the behaviors of successful students. During the school year, I typically teach one word per day, but for the summer term, since we're not in the classroom and we wanted a summer break, I only taught them 2 words. The first word being assiduous, and you can see the phonetic spelling here, and the second word being benevolent. So now there are some 2nd graders and some 8th graders going around during the summertime in their summer camps talking about being more assiduous and behaving more benevolently. The second thing that I was able to do or accomplish during this case study was to introduce the more kinesthetic approach of practicing vocabulary around the house. And that was with the introduction of the Rolodex. And with the Rolodex, it once again has the terms to the front along with the phonetic spelling and then the definition of the words on the back. The same thing with the term benevolent. So this was created in order to help the students, in order to help baby girl and the young man actually give them more of a hands-on approach to learning the vocabulary. So I have a guest speaker, a guest surprise. Stephen, the parent, is actually here, and he is going to share just briefly about how he has been able to work with his children using the ABCs of successful students. Stephen?
Hello all, how are you doing? My name is Steve, and I'm here to talk about my kids, baby girl and young man. Speaking with Tenae, the tools that she has provided has actually enhanced my knowledge and skills to be able to work with my kids. I love the idea that she had with the ABC method. Learning advanced words not only enhances their knowledge, but it also teaches them what these words mean so that they can actually use it in school. Another thing that Tenae has taught was the Rolodex that she has provided for me. That is something that I can use on a day-to-day basis where I have the word on the front and the definition of the word on the back. So with that being said, it also enhances, like I said before, my knowledge and also their knowledge. Now, one thing that I have not done that I would like to do is actually to reach out to the teachers next school year. Um, One thing that I have is an email that I'm going to actually send out to each teacher to make myself known and let them know that I want to be more involved in my kids' studies. So one letter that I have actually wrote, and I'm going to just read it briefly, is that I wanted to introduce myself to each of you because I believe in being involved in my son's educational process. As the school year begins, I know that young man and baby girl will need to be pushed and encouraged to complete his educational goals. They are both smart, which means they will constantly need to be challenged in order to reach their full potential. And with that being said, I also provided my phone number and email, and that would actually help the teachers know that I want to be more engaged and involved in their progress. All right. Thank you, Tenae.
Thank you, Steve. So that is what we were able to accomplish during the case study. Once again, the initial goals were that I was able to work with the parent and to give him some additional tools and strategies of how to work with baby girl and the young man. And I also wanted to provide him with some strategies of how to better communicate with the teachers. So with that being said, as he's already suggested, the email that he has already created, and this would be a part of my example that I submit online as well. With the emails is the purpose of the email, once again, is for him to be able to initiate the communication with the parents. Now, based on some of the class readings, we initially had some back and forth in regards to who should initiate first. As a teacher, I think that the parents should initiate the communication first. But I can understand from the parental perspective why parents believe that teachers should initiate that communication. So that has been the ongoing conversation between us both. But I am very appreciative of Stephen for assisting me with my case study. I'm also very appreciative of baby girl and of young man for, they didn't know that they were involved in the case study, but as I was teaching them the words, they just felt elated. They felt so proud to be able to walk around CC's Pizza and talk about assiduously doing refills for the from the Coca-Cola machine, or how young man benevolently helped his younger sister win a toy out of the prize machine. So I'm very appreciative of the three of them for assisting me with my case study this summer. And I look forward to continuing my professional growth as I continue to work with my peers, my colleagues, my supervisors, other teachers, and other parents, and more specifically, other students. Thank you, Dr. Reed, for this experience, and please leave your comments in the YouTube feedback below. Hi again. I just got off the motorcycle. While I was out riding, it dawned on me that I did not triple check the expectations on the rubric. So I wanted to make sure that I went back and included some more information based on what I did this past summer for my case study. First, I wanted to make sure that I did say that Steve's children are not currently receiving special education services. They don't qualify. But his email that he generated to send to their teachers for this upcoming school year does suggest that he is initiating a multidisciplinary team as defined on page 145 of the Friend and Cook test that was written in 2010. Secondly, he stated that he has been working on his communication skills, which will enhance the collaborative process as defined on page 301. Third, Steve is aware that he and the other teachers share mutual goals, which is a part of collaborating based on the definition found on page 8. The relationship established has been for more than a month. I met baby girl about maybe 2 months ago, and I met young man about a month ago. Plans for future growth. For teachers, I have already created this document titled 9 Things to Do Before Writing a Disciplinary Referral. That was as my responsibility as a lead teacher to help other teachers be not so quick to write referrals, but to look at other strategies of what to do before writing the referral. I plan on, for my future growth, to provide something very similar to parents, and that would be possible title number 1, 7 ways to build a better relationship with your child and their teacher. More will be to come in the future.